like one of the challenges is when people will be asking you, what are you doing here, you know, like, yeah, I'm going to meditation retreat. "Oh, so what do you do there?" You know, meditation, but that's a good cover, you know, by the way, if you need to use that cover.
Starting your documentary?
Yes, it will be documentary. Oh, that's awesome. Hi.
You can make a difference. We are all really one person. We are one entity. We are the creator. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is that you do it with love.
Next, the catalyst will intensify, and then, you know.
This happens sometimes, isn't
No,
it? So. Nice, nice. Now we can freestyle. You know, I don't have really more questions, but what is there something you want to add?
Yes, kids. If somebody asks you to do drugs, just say no. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, you are featured too. Wanna say something?
How many times have you been to homecoming?
Meow, 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 meow. This is Chloe. And this is Dandy. There are Jim's cats living with him at LL Research House in Kentucky, USA. Once per year, this house is open to all spiritual seekers and friends at homecoming. What is the idea behind the homecoming?
Probably about, 1993 or 1994, Carla had gotten enough emails and snail mails from readers of the Law of One that said they had nobody to talk to about their spiritual path. Some were married and their mates weren't interested, or their friends weren't interested, and they felt lonely. They felt like there just wasn't anybody that they could communicate with, and anybody they tried to talk to thought they were nuts. So we decided that the way to do that, to help people, was to form what we called the Homecoming Gathering. so that these people who felt so disassociated and alienated from everyone else around them could come here to L&L Research and could meet other people just like them that they could talk to. And nobody would think they were crazy. And everybody would realize that they shared a path with a growing number of people around the world. So that's where the idea for the homecoming gathering came from. And we're somewhere, I guess, along almost 25 years now we've been doing this.
And it was every year?
We've done it every year. Sometimes we didn't always do it over Labor Day weekend. Back in 2003, I remember specifically, we did it in early February. And we only had 6 or 7 people. It wasn't always like it is now with 30 to 40 people. And interestingly enough, though, those 6 or 7 people decided to stay here in the house. They didn't go home. This was their home. We tried to form an intentional community at that time. And we did. We had some people that were staying here in the house with us. And some people were living on our old abandoned farm. It was a farmstead up in northern Kentucky. And we had an old cabin on that. And so a couple of people stayed up there and tried to make gardens and raise chickens and so forth up there. So that was the only time that we ever had that happen, that people stayed and gave a try for intentional community, which lasted probably 2 to 3 years. And actually, that's where our director, Gary Bean, first came from. He joined us at that time and was the youngest member of that group. And at that time seemed to me to be the least likely to succeed, but was the only one who made it through and is still with us, and we are so blessed for that.
Okay, Gary, I know it was a little bit hard to find the time to speak to the director, but here we are. And I wanted to ask you, how many homecomings have you produced?
My first was 2005. So whatever the math works out to be, it's 2018.
13 years?
13 years, yeah.
Really?
13.
13 years in a streak. Not missed anyone.
16, 17, 18. Yeah, it's 14.
It's 14.
So you count 2015, 2005, 2018. Yeah, to answer your question, consecutive. I've not missed one.
Okay, Austin, what is the format of homecoming?
So the format is what we call a symposium, where we invite the attendees to bring topics and bring presentations, and we sort of organize it beforehand in an agenda, and throughout the weekend we have the attendees present their topics to the whole group, and sometimes we'll split off into like group workshop sort of activities, and then in between all of that we make sure that we have a very long lunchtime and very long break period for people to socialize and mingle and really connect with other wanderers and seekers.
Our circle right now has gotten scrunched in a little bit. It was designed to precision, but it's been raining.
Do you remember how many homecomings you have produced?
As far as being active in production, this will be my 5th. As 2018, 2013 was the first one where I was part of L&L Research, and I only had attended one before that in 2012 as an attendee.
What you get out of it, like for your personal growth, I mean more?
Well, that first one was probably the most influential. It was the first time I was ever around other people that I could actually talk about the Law of One or this other Confederation material, or really this sort of spirituality in general. That was the first time I ever was able to actually have that conversation with somebody, and it was one of the most powerful experiences of my life. Since then, it hasn't been as powerful because, you know, this is sort of where I live and work, and it's my daily life, but it is, it serves to sort of recharge the spiritual batteries, because the people that come to homecoming are a family, it feels like. That even if it's somebody's first time and I've never met them before, there's an instant feeling of familiarity and kinship and connection, and it seems like everybody's just on the same page here, and we're all just loving and accepting of each other, and that's a really great feeling.
Can you describe how you usually feel around Thursday or Friday morning before the event starts?
Well, yeah, it's pretty much a feeling of excitement, the feeling that in your tummy and in your heart, and your mind is buzzing with things to do, and remembrances of previous homecomings, and knowing that there's people coming here from all over the country and all over the world, and they're going to have different kinds of ideas they want to share, but it's all going to be having to do with opening the heart and sharing what they feel to be the most important part of their lives. So it's a feeling of great excitement, a feeling of anticipation, and just knowing that there is magic about to happen, that when people like this get together, a lot of good things and some magical things and surprises do happen, and it's always a blessing.
Everyone, it feels like family. You know, I said this earlier at the circle. It's like I've been searching for you guys my whole life, searching for other brothers and sisters that I could speak with, you know.
Do you think I'm gonna like unsweetened black tea? Will I like
Maybe, yeah.
it? I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm afraid to like waste one.
Well, if you won't like it, then you can pass it to me and I will drink
You'll
it.
drink it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
What do you bring out of it? Of all that, producing that stressful feeling?
Exhaustion. No, to answer from a spiritual standpoint, it is a platform for service to others. I don't get the experience of an attendee. I don't get the conversations and the time and the quality of attention that people can get with each other, but I help to build a space, to hold a space, to facilitate that space, and seeing the generation of light between people and the stories that are shared and the heart openings that happen within that space is a profound means of being of service to others. So what do I take out of it? I get that fulfillment and that reward. It's a little intense. Hello everybody, Jim is going to welcome you to Homecoming 2018.
Looking around here at all these smiling faces, and I am so glad to see you all. Thank you all for coming, taking the time to get here. A lot of you took a lot of time to get here, and we appreciate your effort, because we know you bring in a lot of love here for us, all to share together, maybe a little light too, and eventually we're all going to come together as one group. I think people who've been here before know that that's probably one of the most important things that happens, is that we come and blend our energies together and discover that we are part of a oneness. Lily! I just got here from the airport, so I haven't seen light people yet. So that's what I want to say is thank you from my heart. I love every one of you, and I can't wait to talk to all of you.
Nice. Now we can freestyle. I don't have really more questions, but is there something you want to add?
Yes, kids, if somebody asks you to do drugs, just say no. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the 2 points of ingress of this energy, the 2 expressions of this energy. And
ran across that part of the raw channelings from the new book. So it was nice to have you expand on that and expound on that and make it even clearer for us.
Quintessential foundation of free will. It is the very beginning of creation itself. It is the impulse that birthed the universe from the intelligent, undifferentiated nothingness or void or fullness of intelligent infinity in the first place. So yeah, thank you.
This connects to why Ross says, quote, consider, if you will, the path your life experience has taken. Consider the coincidences and odd circumstances by which one thing flowed to the next. Consider this well. Each entity will receive the opportunity that each needs. There's no ambiguity in there. There is only the absolute assertion that each entity will receive the opportunity that each needs. And that opportunity is random for entities new to third density or not yet conscious. But as the path advances and as the inner light is strengthened, that which is attracted to the self is in accordance with the will and the seeking and the desire of the entity. And a metaphor came to me that helps me to kind of try to wrap my head around this. If you've ever seen like sand spread out evenly over a plate, and then there's like a pure frequency that's vibrated underneath, and then the sand begins to form itself according to geometric shapes. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube.
What is the hardest part for you about producing Homecoming?
Oh, it's just logistically, it takes every cylinder I have in my mind and body and cranks it up to maximum, and I stay at that level nearly the entire time. So it takes a lot of stamina, a lot of mental energy, and a lot of physical energy. But I hope the question doesn't make the focus come back on me too much, to whatever extent this ends up in the video. But yeah, it takes a lot out of me to produce time, energy, and probably, yeah, the biggest difficulty with Homecoming is the inability to connect with others, to sit down and have the conversations that other people are having, because I have to tend to production details. But it's part of my service, it's part of my mission on Earth, and I'm sure it's true of anybody who produces a spiritually oriented event.
And we are so grateful for all the hard work you've been putting into this. And just, you know, for everybody, I wanted to say thank you.
And thank you, Wojtek.
Maybe before we begin, one more thing. If you are not able to offer someone loving kindness, then let that person go in your mind, because the time isn't right yet, and there is just too much hurt, and that's completely okay. You know, we all been there. We will be there probably. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So offer yourself loving kindness. That's probably the way how to do it. Because if you offer loving kindness to yourself, you are also offering it to others. You know, there's no distinction, no distinction. Awesome. So I think we can begin if you are up for it.
Yeah, let's start. Everybody stand up. Remember, you have a body. Arms up. Breathe. Pat your belly. Nice. Smoke your feet. Arms back up. Breathe. And relax. Okay.
Did I help you? Can I help with the body thing, right?
My name's Gary Fung. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and this is my 5th homecoming. How hard life would be without you were missing both your hands? Suck, wouldn't it? Surely, I mean, it's pretty hard to paint without your hands, right? That's true. And Gary, I mean, answering emails would be a pain in the ass if you didn't have your hands.
It's true.
Yeah.
But in asking myself the question, one among other answers is suffering is that which drives the seeking. And the Law of One speaks to that as well, and says that's kind of a byproduct of and kind of the point of the veil. Their density entities weren't doing their work, so a veil was implemented, and it creates a condition whereby we seem to be separate from one another. And it's very painful to be disconnected from each other, from source, from who we are. So I feel that pain, and I see.
I believe there is a metaphysical reason. I think that the entire planet, as far as I can tell, is experiencing this type of disharmony. And I believe that one of the reasons is that there have been so many people from other planets transferred here to go through third density again because they did not make the harvest on their home planet. So Ross said that there is a reduction in the possibility of making a choice when there is no choice that is made. So that to those who have not been able to make that choice, it's even harder here on Earth to try to redo all of that third density work. So it's an added burden, you might say. It's a greater challenge, but if people can eventually find a way into their hearts for any reason, they can begin to love those around them, expand that to their community and further and further, that love can also then begin to generate an increased ability to polarize positively. So as soon as people who are not now making a choice begin to make a choice, then the momentum switches from making it harder to making it easier. So right now we're at this point where there are so many that have failed to make that choice in the past, and they're still not able to make it. So we need to have people like you that are studying the Law of One all over the world, share it with other people, to spread the word, to spread the news. If you're washing diapers for your child, if you're making food for your family, if you're working in a store, whatever you're doing, do it with a sense of love and wanting to be of service to others. That will affect everybody on the planet because we are all connected in consciousness with each other. And we can increase the ability of every person to feel love and express love. So there is always hope. Ra said that it is possible that at some moment the entire planet could make the choice to be positively polarized. In one fine moment of inspiration, we could make that choice. It is not probable, but it is ever possible if we all continue to do whatever we can wherever we are.
Yeah, although this probability is quite low, right?
Yeah.
At the current moment.
But it's there.
Okay, so love
it's
is
there.
the answer. Yeah, I understood. Thank you, Jim.
Each and every one of your presences here is absolutely enough and more than enough and beautifully perfect and just what I needed this weekend. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Without condition, total, as other selves.
I love you too, and I love you.
I've searched my whole life for you guys.
Yeah.
I feel as if though you guys are brothers and sisters that are long lost and that I've always known about. And I thank you guys for finding me too.
Yeah, I can see why I've been here 9 times.
Lily Yang will lead a 10-minute meditation with some music, and we'll have lunch together.
The next question is has something to do with Buddhism. I've been reading some Buddhist books. They keep referring to bodhisattvas, and I wonder if bodhisattvas are just people's imagination. People have very high hope for moral values, so they created such images to represent their deepest truth or their highest value. Or they are they real? There are so many books about them. They must be real, right? But in reality, people like me don't really have any faintest idea where they are, what they're doing, and it's probably more difficult to connect with than with Ra, I guess. So if you get my question, so it's like I wonder if this is just a pure concept or are they real?
Well, it's something that I can't give you direct evidence and say, well, I've met 2 or 3 and I know they exist. I haven't. But I know that all traditions, religious traditions on this planet, have those entities who have made contact with the Creator and have realized it within their own being and have been able to express it to those around them. Many times, however, they do not go public. They do their work, you might say, behind the scenes, in the mountaintops or in caves or in monasteries or in a retreat of some kind. They send love and light to the world. In their meditations, they can hold this planet in their visualizations and see it surrounded by light and love. And that also affects the planet because their consciousness is much more pure than most of our consciousnesses. So I believe they exist, and as you are well aware, through the Ra contact, there are entities that are called wanderers who are here. And these entities, though not in this life consciously realized, they still can carry a great deal of love and light in their vibrations, and by their very presence can also lighten the planetary energy. And also Ross said that there are other entities from other third density planets who've already made the graduation there, and this planet will be their new fourth density home, but they come here early, and they have both their heart and their yellow and green energy centers activated, and they are more able to express this love and light as well. They are being born in more and more numbers now. Back in 1981, there were only 35,000. By now, there's probably in the millions. So we have many, many people that are enlightened to some degree, more or less, that are lending their aid to this planet to raise the vibrations. So there's a great deal of hope in that regard, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks for addressing my questions. Thanks so much. I believe your time is very precious. There seems to be a long list of questions from other friends, so I won't keep your time now. And so save your precious time for other friends as well.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate your questions.
Thank you so much, Tim.
All right, Troy. Thank you for your time. And how many times you have been to Homecoming?
This is my very first time.
And what made you to go here?
The Law of One has been an inspiration for me since about 2002. I discovered it after being prepared for it through probably at that point 25 years of psychiatric practice and working with trauma victims, including trauma victims that related to the Orion group that the Law of One talks about. And the Law of One helped put together for me how good and evil worked in the world, and how it worked more on a metaphysical level than I had conceptualized. So it was very helpful for that, and it helped me see that in spite of the deep suffering that people I worked with had gone through, that God was there, which I knew, but that there was purpose in it, and God was working out his purposes in the world, or the infinite creator, as Rob would call him. So that was really helpful for me, and as a person with that background. I had also studied Christian metaphysics as part of training for spiritual direction, and so my mind was fairly open to a lot of new ideas, but this philosophy of the Law of One kind of transcended even the expansive thought of like that metaphysics class I took, and I like my mind to expand. So as far as coming to Homecoming, it's hard to find souls with whom you can share this commonality, and I have a few friends in the Dallas, Texas area that share this with me, but they're few and far between. We are trying to get a small cadre of people together to meet on a regular basis in Dallas, so maybe that'll happen and provide some heart support. But in the meantime, this is a place where you can come and meet people of like mind, or at least like study. And I was curious if, what magic the infinite creator would work when this many intuitively minded people with a heart toward service to others would come together, and who I would meet and what it might lead to. So it's turning out that I'm meeting some great people, and some of them we may continue relating, and that's a good thing.
This particular, I know I put a lot of words on the title of this, and I guarantee you at some point I can connect them to what's happening here, but let's actually have a happening. angles.
How's the pie?
Oh, wow. Wow.
It was about a year for these each to come through. And then the very first time they came into that configuration, or any configuration.
Well, I'm feeling a lot of joy from
Yeah.
them. But they're so happy to be here amongst all of us.
So, what I was saying, we need to do whatever we can. Wherever you are, you can make a difference. We are all really one person. We are one entity. We are the creator. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is that you do it with love.
If your mind wanders, again, don't worry. Return your attention to the intention, to those phrases, and we basically begin with ourselves, and we end with all beings, the whole universe, the whole nature, whole world, and beyond, as everything is one.
Jagatambe, Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Akali, Durga, Namo Namah. It's okay. Do it again. Ma Kali, Durga, Namo Namah. Ma Kali, Durga, Namo Namah. Jaya Jagatambe, Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Jagatambe, Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Akali, Durga, Namo Namah. Durga, Namo Namah. Akali, Durga, Namo Namah. Jagatambe, Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Jaya 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 Jagatambe, Ma Durga. Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga. Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga. Jaya Jagatambe. Jagatambe Ma Durga. Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga. Ma Durga, Ma Durga, Ma Durga. Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga, Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga. Om Narayani Om Narayani Om Narayani Om Narayani Om. Narayani Om Narayani Om Narayani Om Narayani Om. Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga, Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga. Narayani Om, Narayani Om, Narayani Om, Narayani Om. Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga, Jaya Jagatambe Ma Durga. Jaya Jagatambe, Jagatambe Ma Durga.
Thank you, much better. So, just so you know, Jagatambe is the Earth Mother.
What's up, guys? Don't forget to smash that like button. Link to the merch is in the description. Make sure you subscribe, and you can subscribe to our Patreon. We'll have exclusive Ascension details for exclusive Patreons.
Yeah, that's also what I've been getting from interviews.
Yeah.
The mixture of every homecoming is unique.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But all of them just seem to build in energy over the weekend. We start with the that expectancy of good things to come. So there's excitement in the air when we first get together, and the more we're together, the more that excitement plays out as it really is, and everyone had hoped it would be. So yeah, and to watch that grow over the weekend is always marvelous. A magical experience.
What keeps you bringing back?
The mixture of things. It's the people, of course, and I think why I keep coming back. It's because it's a different dynamic each year, because it's a different mix of people, and so yeah, it's like a different dish. There's new flavors to experience. Not that people are food, but they can be like food.
Soul food, maybe.
Exactly, what the guy said here.
How would you rate this cake you are about to eat, Austin?
Cake created by Trisha Bean, I believe. I rate it 11 out of 10. And
Yes.
I haven't even tried it yet. You're gonna film me eating this cake, aren't you?
I want to get some reaction.
Some action shots. Mmm. Yep.
Let's zoom on your beard now.
I'd like to change my rating to 12 out of 10.
Where is it?
In that drawer right there.
That's appropriate.
And free cake for our Patreon subscribers. By the way, we'll send you a piece of cake if you donate $50 a month.
Wait, is there actually a Patreon?
No, we don't have a Patreon.
It's Austin's Patreon.
I think everybody enjoyed the food. How you came up with all the recipes, with much energy actually to do that, how you are a superhuman or?
I don't sleep really, so that's a way of filling up my time instead of like being stupid on the internet. And I have like a small repertoire of recipes that I go through. Like I know that certain ones are asked for year after year, so I just do those and then add and subtract. And I think I always make spaghetti. So it's easy.
Yeah, and my next question is, what do you bring back to home, you know, from this event? Spaghetti too, or?
Would I bring back spaghetti?
Yeah.
Like to eat? Hope not.
So what would you like to bring from this event?
Like take back after it's all over?
Yeah.
Lots of new friends, I would say. Yeah.
Jay Norby, we're your #1 fan.
Donate to my Patreon.
What you will bring back home from this event?
A lot of email addresses. And people who I can let know what's going on in the Dallas area, and maybe who we can keep a kind of relatedness going. In terms of concepts, probably the concepts aren't that new. I really liked Gary's presentation today. I thought he put together some of the raw verbiage in pictorial form that was helpful to me. I'm not sure what the take-home message in that was, but I really liked it. Let's see, what other take-home things could come? Again, I think it's mostly relationships.
Need to make little sense to the reader. So let's start out with some hieroglyphs and see what we can do with them. I put up a post on the Bring Forth Homecoming thread and asked all of you to read the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali in preparation. Anybody read those? Anybody familiar with them?
Yeah, everybody usually says, well, I'll see you next year. And most of the time that does occur. You know, the way we do it now is pretty much first come, first serve. So if people don't pay attention to their email inbox, they might miss the chance to make a registration. But most of the time, people who have been here before know to watch, and they get their registrations in. You get to see them again. But, you know, we also really do appreciate meeting new people, too. That's very special because we know there are so many people out there that would like to take part in our homecomings, and we'd like to see them be able to do that. And to meet more people that have different ways of approaching their spiritual journey, have new information to share. You know, it just refreshes everything and everyone. So we'd like to see old and the new.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my very first time.
It's awesome. And what motivates you to get here?
I signed up for the waiting list. I tried to buy a ticket. I recently found the bringforth.org, I believe the website is, and I was going through the forum and I saw homecoming, and I've been studying the raw material probably religiously for a year, but for on and off for maybe 2 or 3 years prior to that. And when I saw this opportunity to come and actually meet Jim and meet other people that knew the material as well, if not better than me, I jumped on it. I got put on the waiting list, didn't hear anything about it, didn't think anything about it, and then 2 weeks Gary emailed me and the timing was right. I had the available funds, I had time available at work, and my wife surprisingly was like, yeah, go ahead, go. And here I am.
And what do you like so far about this event? How does it feel for you to be here for the first time?
Ooh, what don't I like? Everyone, it feels like family. You know, I said this earlier at the circle. It's like I've been searching for you guys my whole life, searching for other brothers and sisters that I could speak with, you know. And at first, you know, my typical awkwardness was there in the beginning, and I was convincing, kind of telling myself that why am I here type thing. But the more that I stayed and the more that I'm able to commune with the rest of you guys and the rest of the people here, it just feels more and more like, man, this is like another home for me. Another home.
And that leads us to the last question. What you will bring back home from this event?
Love. Much love.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my first.
And how you feel about this place?
It's magical. It really is. There's a certain love here that you don't feel in most places.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my 3rd time coming to homecoming.
And what keeps you bringing back?
This is just such a magical space and place, and I'm now at this point, this is my family, and I just look forward to it all year round, and it gives me maybe it's like a compass, you know, it's like it gives me direction, and it helps focus me for the next remaining 360 days. And then I come back and I just fill my cup back up, and it's wonderful to see all my friends and family again.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my third homecoming.
And what keeps you bringing back to homecoming?
I keep coming back for the other people.
This is my third time. It's fantastic each and every time. There's always a different energy. The people are wonderful. It's just so heartfelt love from everyone.
What made you to come to homecoming again?
Just the people that I meet, the connections to the spiritual group and the community at large. And I keep in touch with them year round.
What you will bring home from this homecoming?
New connections, as I said, the community. I reach out to them year round. It's such a blessed group, such a loving group, and they add to my learning and knowledge.
And what you will bring back home with you from this event?
I said it earlier, and it was a humbled perspective.
Is there something you want to add? Just freestyle, you know?
Yeah, I do. I wanted to say that I've been working through forgiveness, and I really encourage others to do the same.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my third time.
What keeps you bringing back to homecoming?
Gosh, I'm really searching for inner growth, and boy do I grow. I really like that, and so I'm really growing to the point where it's not really all about me and my own growth. It's about what I can do for humanity, and that is growing. So it's really changing from, you know, that inner, and the inner light is getting so big that there becomes this outer focus, and I just want the world to be happy, and I want to be a part of it. And so my search is, how can I do that in my lifetime?
Okay, Jeremy, how many times you have been to homecoming?
Oh man,
there's that much?
I think probably like 6, maybe 7, maybe 5. I don't know.
What keeps you bringing back?
The people and the friendships, and the ability to fully be oneself in a spiritual manner without needing to explain.
What you will bring back home from this event?
A vision of what's possible in human relationships.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, Fox, how many times you have been to homecoming?
I am terrible with those types of things. I can't. Beatrice was teasing me the other day because I can't even remember when I got married. So I have no idea. Along many years.
And what keeps you bringing back?
Probably the buzz I get from being here. It's like I get so energized that I take it home with me, and I'm buzzed for a week. I love it here. I just love it.
And what you will bring from this event to home?
This time every time something different, but a lot of knowledge, a lot of new friendships, a lot of some soul searching, a lot of old friendships growing stronger. I get so enriched. I look forward to this event all year long. I just love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I like the humor, but yeah, awesome.
What else do we have?
Okay, so how many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my second time.
And what made you to come back?
An invitation from Gary for one, but also there's such a sense of welcoming and belonging here. I'm actually quite privileged. I attend a number of these kinds of things around the world each year, and this one has a real sweetness to it. People are very open and accepting and welcoming here, and you get such an incredible spectrum of people and types of embodiment and consciousness, and it's really a treat.
And what you will take back home from this event?
The silverware?
What you will take back from this event?
It was a joke. It's okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get it.
I said the silverware.
Oh, silverware. Oh, yeah. Got it now.
I'm going to take a sense of renewed inspiration. Again, I've been welcomed in a way that's unusual, even among spiritual communities. And my work is somewhat unusual, and it's been a real inspiration to be able to explore it more deeply with a group that's this open and this accepting, and also to learn new things through their eyes. So I think that's what I'll take, is a whole new sense of the possibility of being me in the world. Fewer reservations.
Lakshman Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman Ki Bolo Lakshman Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman Ki Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Is it time? I underestimated how difficult this would be.
I love that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, how many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my third time.
And what keeps you bringing back?
The community, the material, and just the love.
How many times you have been to homecoming?
9.
Okay, that was fast. And what keeps you bringing back?
Well, this is where my spiritual family is. I get a great joy when I come to homecoming, and it carries me through the rest of the year until I can come back.
And what you will bring back to home from this event?
A much lighter heart,
So how many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my first, except that I was able to give a presentation last year via Skype, but I didn't get to listen to or participate in anybody else's presentation or any of the other activities, so this truly feels like the first time I was here.
And what made you to come?
Well, Gary, he really almost forced me to come. He was very insistent. We sort of have been friends via email for the past year, and you know, he just said, "You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." Just with everything he had learned about me over the course of the last year, and everything aligned just right in my world to be able to come, and it was a sign. And I knew that I needed aligned community. You know, I needed to be with people that that I feel in tune with, and I have a hard time finding that kind of community where I live. So I've just been starving for it. And Gary, you know, I figured if everybody was some version of the Gary energy, it's like, this is going to be amazing, and it has been amazing.
Okay, how many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my second time, or third homecoming. My first homecoming in Louisville was last year. I went to the Asheville homecoming earlier this year, summer, and so this will be my third homecoming, second homecoming in Louisville.
Awesome, and what made you to come back?
Just love the vibe.
And what you will take back home from this event?
The energy. You know, when we all come together here to embody this fourth density energy that's coming through, that's heart-based, we get a little glimpse of the more beautiful world our heart knows is possible. And we become energized and filled with that energy, and we take it back home with us and let it seep out around to the people around us, and hold it as long as we can. You know, eventually the world chips away at us, and we kind of go back into our normal energy. But I'm going to be taking the good vibes home with me and sharing them with anyone who can absorb them. So,
thank you.
This is maybe the fourth, perhaps.
Okay, what keeps you bringing back?
Because this is my family.
And what are you bringing back home from this event?
Well, I'm always lifted by the experience. Homecoming started while I lived abroad for a long time, and I couldn't come. But it was always something on my mind that if I was back in the United States, this is something I would participate in, and Linda and I have enjoyed coming, and we will continue to. This has been a part of my spiritual family for several decades. So the opportunity to share with this group of like-minded souls is a gift.
What you will bring back from this event to home?
To home, I know that I'll be able to. The one thing that I'm developing within myself is being able to connect to people and raise them up energetically, and so that is really growing. I'm getting, and this opportunities to do that are coming every day. So like I'm actually doing, for instance, like I'm doing meditations with businesses, and so that we all get together, say on Skype, and so I connect us together on Skype, heart to heart. These are businesses and that are going out in the world. They want to do good things with their business and connect to people and help humanity. And so I create a meditation that sets that goal, that vision for them. And so I'm getting more and more opportunities coming, and they come by accident. It's absolutely amazing. And you know what I mean, like a synchronicity. And so I'm learning how to do that more and more, and just so I just reach out to them and pull them all together energetically, and we do the meditation. And it's, you know, really, it's part of my service, and I really love it. I passionately love it.
Okay, so how many times you have been to homecoming?
This is my third consecutive year at homecoming. Started in 2016.
And what made you to come back?
The sense of community and and just a sense of family and belonging and people that understand the same sort of seeking that you're doing. They're on a similar path, and so there's just so much to talk about and such a sense of belonging, and everyone's just really nice and welcoming, and Jim and Gary and Austin are just great people who put together a great event. So, yeah.
What you will take back home from this event?
A full cup. I came with an empty cup, and now I have a full cup, and help me coast through till next year when I can come back and hang out with everyone and get some more fellowship and brotherhood and sisterhood and coffee and good food from Trish.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
What motivated you to get here?
I had done some freelance illustration work on some of the books for him, and I just really got a good vibe. I'd already been reading the material and just said, hey, I'd like to give back. If there's anything you need, I do artwork. And they said, hey, we have this new book we're working on. Would you like to do some artwork? I said, sure. And so I started doing it, and then became friends with the guys. And I've been working in Louisville for about 6 months. And so we've gone to dinner. I think we went to lunch or dinner a couple times, and then we've talked on the phone, and then I heard about homecoming, and I said, yeah, I'd really like to do that. And so stayed the weekend, and it's been a really cool experience.
What you will bring back home from this event?
I think what happens is you get really recharged here with love. You feel like you're with other people that are interested in the same things you are. Other service to others kind of people, and you get filled with that, and you want to share it with other people.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
That's it.
Where's the algebra?
That was the first question.
Oh.
What you will bring back home from this event?
I feel like it's almost like it helps you crystallize things that you've been studying or thinking about. It's a transformative experience. Just meeting a group of seekers who are so dedicated in pursuing, their own truth, and kind of communing with them, talking, learning, teaching, just kind of being on the same wavelength. It seems to have a certain effect on your reality, the reality, and I think it's very valuable.
Thank you very much. Can you tell me a little bit more about those prints you have? What you're gonna do with it?
Okay, well, I really wanted to share a part of myself in the group, and I created all these prints. Like, this is the Buddha, and so I created this. I only just recently discovered Buddhism in May, but I actually created this before May. And so this is a channeled version of the Buddha in through my acrylic paint. And so the energy comes through, and I feel that it's a very pure form of the energy of Buddha, because I knew absolutely nothing about Buddhism or Buddha. So I feel that it was so pure in innocence and unknowing. And so it's a very powerful piece. And so that's what I really enjoy doing, is creating art that has an energy to it or an intention, so that it can heal people or raise them to a new level of consciousness. And that's what I really like about these people here, the seekers that I get to know and spend time with and grow myself. Last year was amazing.
What will you bring back to home from this event?
Inspiration to keep going. I think I said to a couple of other people that I don't really see January 1 as the start of the new year anymore. I see the homecoming event as the start of my new year, because it gives you new experiences, and it literally feels like being reborn after the 2.5 days here. And when I get back to Sydney, it'll just be the next phase, then the next 12 months before I'm back here.
What you will bring back to home from this event?
What do I bring home? Well, I feel like it's reconnected me on a slightly deeper level with the desire to connect with this incredible internal energy and loving energy, and continue with the work that I do to try and be of service to others. You know, I guess it's making me recommit to things that I had already committed to, but at a deeper level, and re-energized me for those pursuits, which is great, because I was kind of losing some steam from just sheer burnout, you know.
And what do you will bring home from this event?
I hope to bring home the sense of stillness and peace that I get from being here, and I hope to be able to integrate the amazing vibrations of all the people that I've met that have hopefully rubbed off on me and made me greater and made my vibration more nuanced and able to affect others in my day-to-day life.
Have you got quite a few? Do you measure that in feet or minutes or
minutes?
So did you get quite a bit over the weekend?
Yeah, I get a lot. It surprised me actually how much, because I wasn't really sure about that idea, but there was something in me like, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, and then it clicked. It like self-organized. I was just talking with people, doing some footage, like feeling inspired actually, and I think there will be a lot. So.
All right, sounds like you have some editing to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what is next for me.
Right.
Yeah, and then it runs out. Basically, the magic happens, right?
Well, over the weekend, it grows and grows, and on the final day, then there's some sadness at the end because we know we're going to be parting. Because over those Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, people come to be a community. They become bonded with each other in a way that is most palpable, quite significant. And fortunately, we do have, in this modern age, we have email and texting and the social media to use to keep up with each other, so that it's not a final goodbye. But it's always, a special thing to be in the physical presence of another person that you love, that you've come to know and to value dearly.
Now, today is Monday, right? So it's kind of cleaning day.
Yes, usually it takes us Monday and Tuesday to get the house back in order, especially the kitchen that's had so much food, delicious food made by Trisha Bean, devoured there. There's the garage where the food was served, and then of course the grounds, especially where the tent was. We need to get all the chairs back in place, and I get my mosquito plants we use to keep mosquitoes away, out where people can take them home, and usually by the end of Tuesday, we're pretty much back in shape with normal configurations, and Gary and Austin are back working in the office.
Mopping the floor with tears of joy and sadness will come. And how do you usually feel about it when the event is over?
Well, it's a sweet sort of sadness, These are people that are really, they're special because you know them, and we know them, and we feel like we have developed a relationship with them, not just at the homecoming, but beforehand as well. They've been readers of the Law of One for quite some time. So to be able to share time with them in person is very special. So to see them go home is kind of sad. But then again, we all have a routine. We have. Everybody has a way of dealing with the daily round of activities. And it's good to get back to that. So, there's sweet and there's sad. Poignant moments.
I feel it because I'm feeling it too, and I feel like everybody's feeling the same, but everybody is so grateful for making connections to fill their cup of energy, and looking forward already for next year, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Jim, for your time, and I would like to thank you especially for whole family, for all the people here, that you open not only your house, but your heart to all different types of people unconditionally, and that's just special. Thank you very much for everything you did and you are doing.
You're most welcome, Vojta. It is an honor to have these people here. It is a great joy. And Carla and I always felt very honored to be able to offer this experience to people in our homes and our hearts as well. Our hearts are always open to everyone who has ever been here.
Thank you, Jim.
Down through unnumbered ages, through currents vast and deep, first a whisper, then a roaring, we come to wake you from your sleep. Far beyond the reaches of the brightest star, the sacred circle was begun. The living words we sing are part of what we are. In everything and everyone, we are the wanderer, traveling from star to distant star, purposely forgetting what we were and who we are, becoming one of you, as we were destined to bring the light to you. We are the wanderers, traveling the endless universe, awakening your magic with our music and our verse. We are the wanderers, wanderers, wanderers.
I am Quo, and greet each of you in love and in light this afternoon. We are most honored to be able to join your circle of seeking. We have observed your circle and your being over the past 2 days, as you would call them, and have been most inspired by the open hearts that we have noted, sharing the love and the light of the one Creator who resides in all, with all. And we join you in rejoicing in that love and in that light and in the comradeship that you have built this weekend. We are aware that there are queries which have been offered to us in hopes of clarifying certain concerns that are upon your minds. We would ask one favor of you before we begin to respond to these queries. And that is that you would see us as your brothers and sisters who are wishing to be of service to you, but who have no authority over you and do not wish to be seen as infallible. For we have walked but a further step along the path than have you. If any word or thought we speak does not ring of truth to you, we ask that you lay it aside without a second thought. Take only that which has value to you and use it as you will, as you must. For this is the density of choice, and all information and inspiration may be utilized by each seeking soul to further the journey upon the spiritual path. At this time, we would ask for the first query to be read.
Well, the first question from the group asks, how can we embrace being vulnerable in the face of catalysts from other selves?
I am Quo, and am aware of your query. This is a salient query for your third density experience. For all of you living beyond the veil are quite vulnerable to any questioning or doubt that comes from any other soul, or even from yourself. For there is nothing that can be known for sure or experienced in a way that can be explained with certainty. For all that you experience is that which is subjectively experienced. Thus, it is necessary, in order to gain the confidence to continue walking this path of seeking and serving, to be able to develop your own inner strength that propels you past any doubt or fear of further movement upon this journey. To develop your own inner strength is a process which may take a variable length of what you call time and experience within your illusion. For to some, it comes more quickly, if this is not a portion of their pre-incarnated choices, shall we say. For some, it is easier to look upon the path of seeking as that which is the most natural thing in the world, shall we say. For they are born with a knowing that there are other lessons that they shall face upon this time that you call an incarnation within the third density illusion. However, for some entities, the choices of lessons include the potential for working with what you would call the lower self-esteem, the concept of the self that has introduced to it that doubt or uncertainty that what you are doing is what you should be doing, or what you can do, or what you might do. In this instance, we would recommend that you retire to your meditative state, perhaps at the end of your day, and review the day that has just passed, seeing all of those instances in which you moved with certainty and those in which you moved with uncertainty. look carefully at the factors and features of each instance in which either certainty or uncertainty was experienced. See if there is a triggering mechanism, a commonality that is contained within either the certainty or uncertainty. Whether there be one or the other, look then to seeing the balance between the two that you can achieve when you observe how you have expressed these qualities within your being. Look then to the uncertainty. See there a reflection of the self at a younger age, progressing backwards, shall we say, from your current time period to the time in which you feel this quality was born within your being, that time in which you first experienced the doubt of whether what you were doing and what you were feeling and how you were being might have value. Was there an instance in which another entity introduced that doubt to you, calling it to your attention, making you wonder if this was real or if this was not? See then the forces, as much as is possible, which have conspired to bring about this current state of mind, the configuration of that which is called uncertainty. If you are able to remember the time and experience in which this uncertainty was planted within you as a seed, look then to what has happened since. Follow the path of the growth of this plant within you to observe its effects upon your incarnational experiences. Was there any indication of a lesson that could be learned by experiencing such doubt? Was there any fruit that came or comes from such experience of doubt? Were you able in any instance to overcome the barrier that uncertainty built about your own mind and perception of yourself? Can you see how you might ascend that barrier? Can you see beyond the uncertainty? Then look to that time or those times in which you have been able to find within your being the concept of certainty. How was this expressed? What was its trigger or genesis? Was there, in your experience at that time, any motivating factor from without, from another entity, for example, that gave you the feeling of confidence, of assurance, of the ability to move forward with strong and sure steps? Look then to both of these experiences to see what each has had to offer to you through your life experience. Many times there is a great learning that can come from that which seems of a negative nature. For that of a negative nature that seems to oppose your own sense of self can be utilized as a motivating force to move you forward upon your spiritual path. Indeed, my friends, there are no mistakes within your life path. There is nothing that is in your journey that you have not placed there of your own free will before the incarnation. Thus, if you can examine the factors which have created your experience of both certainty and uncertainty, then you may be able to fashion a further path through the remainder of your incarnation that walks with a more certain tread. Is there another query at this time?
Thank you, Quo. The next question asks, says rather, greetings, our brothers and sisters of Quo. My question is, what exactly is a thought? Where does it come from? And what exactly is it made of? I understand that the origin of all things is the infinite one and that everything is made of light, but I am wondering if you can expand on this topic. Thank you so much.
I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my friend. This is, again, an important concept to consider. For within your illusion, what you have to propel you through the illusion, in whatever fashion you move, is the power of your own thought, the power of other thoughts, the power of all thought, which has created your cultural milieu. The thoughts that you think and that are thought about you are the creation of the mind as it forms consciousness in a certain relationship with itself, so that there are considerations given to the qualities of your mind that has perceived the illusion about you in a certain structured fashion. Thus, you describe to yourself the nature of everything, of your being, of the illusion in which you move, of the other entities about you, of the possibilities of your movement, of the creative aspects of anything or being that you encounter. Thus, thoughts are your own creation, made of the light of the one Creator, fashioned by your mind to serve as instruments of understanding of a certain nature. We realize that your illusion does not contain the concept of clear perception or understanding, but we use this term because it is closest to our meaning. Thus, the thoughts that you create are your expressions of your perception, of your reality, your relationship to it, the means by which you shall move through it, and the ultimate goal or destination of the steps that you take in a conscious fashion. Thus, your thoughts are the means by which you move yourself through your illusion, experiencing those choices that you have made prior to the incarnation in the manner in which you hope to make them. For before the veil, you are aware of those needs which you have yet to accomplish within your own beingness, and will provide yourself with these opportunities to learn in a certain way within the incarnation according to the thoughts that you create as perceptions of your journey. Is there another query at this time?
The goal here is to feel the presence of the Creator. Like when I do this, I tend to spend maybe an hour doing it at home. Try not to annoy my wife, so sometimes it's when she's not home. Try to enter into the mantra. Basically, these mantras are more or less the names of Hindu deities and like some various praise words. Like Jaya means victory. Hare is it's like divine pleasure, and then there's the names of the deities like Krishna, Rama, Shiva, and so on. Okay, we're going to start with Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. That's it. That's the whole lyrics for this particular song.
Namah Shivaya.
What's up, guys? Don't forget to smash that like button. Link to the merch is in the description. Make sure you subscribe, and you can subscribe to our Patreon. We'll have exclusive Ascension details for exclusive Patreons.